My toxic mother chose the exact week I got my visa approval to tell everyone she was dying. Not in private, not gently. She waited until we were seated at a crowded family dinner and then, with trembling hands and perfectly timed tears, told 30 relatives she had months left. The room went silent. Then every single pair of eyes turned to me, the daughter who was supposedly choosing a job abroad over her mother's final days. She let them look at me like I was heartless, like I was selfish, like I was already mourning her while she was still sitting there. My aunts started whispering. My uncle asked how I could live with myself. Someone actually said, "Family comes first." By the end of that dinner, my promotion didn't matter. My visa didn't matter. My future didn't matter. I wasn't celebrating a new life anymore. I was being publicly judged for leaving the old one. And the strangest part, something about the way she told the story felt rehearsed. The email arrived on a Tuesday afternoon. I was sitting at my desk, pretending to work, actually staring at my phone and praying. When the notification popped up, I almost dropped the device trying to open it. Your visa application has been approved. I read it 4 times, then a fifth. Then I stood up from my desk and walked to the bathroom so I could cry without my coworkers seeing. 18 months. 18 months of applications, interviews, waiting, more waiting, rejections, appeals, and waiting again. 18 months of hoping and praying and almost giving up. And now, finally, it was real. I was moving to London, a dream job at a dream company, a new life, a chance to finally breathe. I called my mother first. I know, stupid, but she was my mother. I wanted her to be proud. "Mom, I got it, the visa. I'm going to London." Silence on the other end, long enough that I checked if the call had dropped. "That's nice, dear." Flat, cold, like I'd told her I was going to the grocery store. "Aren't you happy for me?" "Of course I am." She didn't sound happy. She sounded like she was already planning something. I should have known then, should have felt it, but I was too excited, too relieved, too ready to finally have something good happen. The family dinner was scheduled for that Saturday, my aunt's 60th birthday. The country club ballroom, the same place we'd celebrated everything for 30 years. I walked in holding my head high, visa approval in my pocket, future in my hands, ready for them to finally, maybe, be proud of me. The room was full. 30 relatives, aunts, uncles, cousins, family friends, the usual crowd. I made my rounds, said my hellos, accepted polite congratulations that felt hollow but at least existed. My mother arrived late, which was unusual. She was always early, always in control, always managing everyone else's experience. But that night she walked in with my father, both of them wearing expressions I couldn't read. She kissed my cheek. "Congratulations, sweetheart." Flat, rehearsed. Then she moved past me to greet other relatives. Dinner was served around 7. Expensive food, good wine, the clink of glasses and murmur of conversation. I sat near the middle of the long table, surrounded by cousins who mostly ignored me and tried to enjoy the moment. We were halfway through the main course when my mother stood up. She didn't tap her glass, didn't announce anything. She just stood there, hands trembling, tears already forming, waiting for the room to notice. My aunt noticed first. "Helen, what's wrong? You look pale." The table went quiet. Forks froze mid-air. Conversations died. My mother looked around the room, letting her eyes land on everyone before finally settling on me. The look she gave me was strange, calculating, like an actress waiting for her cue. "I wasn't going to say anything tonight. I didn't want to ruin your birthday, Margaret, but I can't keep it inside anymore." My father stood up and moved beside her, put her hand on her arm, comforting, supportive, rehearsed. "I've been to the doctor, several doctors actually, and they all say the same thing." She paused, Let the silence stretch. Let the tension build. I have months, maybe less. The room exploded. Gasps, cries. My aunt rushed to her side, grabbing her hands. My cousins clutched each other, tears already flowing. Someone at the far end of the table started sobbing loudly. I sat frozen, my fork halfway to my mouth, my food suddenly tasteless. My mother let them comfort her for a long, dramatic moment. Then she pulled away, dabbed her eyes with a napkin, and directly looked at me. I just wanted my family together one last time, all of us, before... She couldn't finish, didn't need to. The tears did it for her. Every single pair of eyes in that room turned to me. My aunt spoke first, her voice sharp with accusation. "When are you leaving, Sophia, for that job of yours?" I swallowed. "Next month. The job starts in 6 weeks." My uncle shook his head slowly, deliberately. "How can you leave now, with your mother in this condition?" My cousin whispered something to her husband. I caught the word selfish. Another cousin nodded, eyes narrowed at me. My mother said nothing, just stood there, sad and brave and broken, letting them all fill in the blanks, letting them all paint me the villain in my own story. "She wanted this for years," my father said, his voice heavy with manufactured disappointment. "We can't stand in her way, even now." He wasn't defending me, he was making it worse, making me the heartless daughter who chooses ambition over her dying mother. Someone at the far end of the table actually said it. The words cut through the room like a knife. Family comes first, always. I looked at my mother, really looked. The tears, the trembling, the way she leaned on my aunt like she was already too weak to stand alone. And something prickled at the back of my mind. Something small, but insistent. The way she told the story felt practiced. The pauses at exactly the right moments, the way her voice cracked on cue, the way she looked at me like she was waiting for a reaction, waiting to see if I'd break. My father played his part without missing a beat. The supportive husband, the grieving partner. They moved like dancers who'd rehearsed this routine. "Mom," I said quietly, my voice cutting through the murmurs, "when did you find out?" She blinked. "What?" "The diagnosis. When did the doctors tell you?" A flicker. Just a flicker. Something behind her eyes that wasn't grief. Something that looked almost like irritation. "A few weeks ago. I didn't want to worry you while you were waiting for your visa." "So you waited until the week I got approved to tell everyone? At a crowded dinner? At Aunt Margaret's birthday?" The room went silent again. Different this time. Tense. Uncertain. My mother's face hardened for just a fraction of a second before crumpling back into tears. "I didn't want to ruin your moment. I thought we could have one last happy family dinner before everything changed." She couldn't finish. Didn't need to. The room was already back on her side. My aunt glared at me, eyes blazing. "How dare you interrogate your dying mother at Aunt Margaret's birthday? What is wrong with you?" I opened my mouth to respond, but nothing came out. What could I say? That something felt off? That her performance seemed too perfect? That I didn't trust the woman who raised me? I sat back, said nothing, but my mind was racing. The dinner continued in chaos, hugs and tears and whispered condolences. My mother held court like a dying queen, accepting everyone's love while I sat alone at the end of the table, the villain in my own story. On the way out, my cousin Chloe caught my arm. She was the only one who ever saw things clearly, the only one who never bought into my mother's performances. "Something's off," she whispered, pulling me into a corner. The way she told that story felt like she'd rehearsed it, like she'd been waiting for the right moment. I stared at her. "You felt it too?" Chloe nodded, her eyes sharp. "Check her bathroom, the guest bathroom downstairs. I saw her go in there 3 times tonight. Every time she came out, her tears looked fresher, her makeup looked touched up." I didn't understand. "What are you saying?" I'm saying that dying women don't usually touch up their makeup between crying sessions. They don't worry about how they look when they're supposedly counting down their last months. She squeezed my arm. Just look. Trust your gut. She walked away, left me standing in the parking lot, heart pounding, mind racing. I got in my car, sat there for 10 minutes staring at the country club doors, watching relatives file out with red eyes and heavy hearts. Then I started the engine and drove, not home, to my parents' house. My parents' house sat dark and silent when I pulled up. No lights in the windows, no cars in the driveway. They were still at the country club, still performing for anyone who would watch. I sat in my car for a long moment, staring at the front door. The house where I grew up, the house where I learned to walk, to talk, to hide. The house where my mother first taught me that love came with conditions. I let myself in with the key I'd kept since I was 16 years old. The lock clicked softly and I stepped into the dark foyer. The house smelled like them, like home and hurt and everything I was trying to leave behind. The guest bathroom was downstairs, near the back hallway. Small, half bath under the stairs, used mostly by visitors who didn't know where the main bathroom was. I'd passed it 1,000 times without thinking. I walked down the dark hallway, my footsteps muffled by the thick carpet. The bathroom door was closed. I opened it, flipped on the light. Nothing unusual at first. Normal bathroom. White tiles, a small sink, a toilet, a cabinet under the sink with a white wooden door. I knelt down, opened the cabinet. Inside were the usual things: extra toilet paper rolls, cleaning supplies, a small basket of travel-sized toiletries for guests. And tucked behind it all, pushed into the very back corner, a small makeup bag, black, zipped shut, hidden like it didn't belong. My heart started pounding. I reached in and pulled it out. It was heavier than I expected, full of something. I unzipped it. The first thing I saw was tubes of liquid latex, the kind actors use to create wounds and scars. Then small containers of wax for molding prosthetics, palettes of color cream in shades of purple, blue, gray, yellow, bruise colors, sick colors, dying colors. Underneath those, a small case with sponges and brushes, a container of stage blood, a bottle of something labeled sweat effect. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the bag. I kept digging, and at the very bottom, folded into a small square, a piece of paper. I pulled it out, unfolded it. My mother's handwriting. It was a list, detailed, organized, like a script. Symptoms to mention at dinner. Fatigue, mention after eating. Weight loss, wear loose dress. Night sweats, mention waking up drenched. Memory issues, pause and forget words. Pain in abdomen, hold side occasionally. Doctors to name if asked: Dr. Harris, oncologist, Memorial Hospital; Dr. Patel, neurologist, same practice; Dr. Wong, second opinion, City Medical. Key phrases to use: I just wanted everyone together one last time. I don't want to be a burden. Sophia has her whole life ahead of her. I've made peace with it. Timing: let Margaret's dinner reach main course. Stand slowly, wait for quiet. First tears at 3-second count. Look at Sophia Rast, hold gaze for 5 seconds. Practice schedule: Monday, 3 run-throughs with Richard; Wednesday, 2 run-throughs, record self; Friday, final rehearsal, full costume, loose dress, no makeup. Goal: Sophia cancels visa by Sunday night. I read it 3 times, then a 4th. The paper trembled in my hands like a living thing. She had planned this, not just the announcement, not just the performance, every single detail, every symptom, every doctor, every tear. She had rehearsed for weeks. With my father. My own father had helped her rehearse. She had written down how to look at me, how long to hold my gaze, when to cry, what to say. My mother had spent weeks preparing to fake her own death so I wouldn't leave. I sat on the cold bathroom floor, surrounded by her lies, and I didn't know whether to laugh or scream or cry. I did all 3, quietly, hysterically, until I couldn't breathe. Then I pulled out my phone and took photos, dozens of them, the makeup kit from every angle, the list front and back, the hiding spot, the cabinet door, everything. I put it all back exactly as I found it, zipped the bag, tucked it behind the toilet paper, closed the cabinet, turned off the light. I walked out of that house and drove home in a daze. The city lights blurred past my windows. My phone buzzed constantly. Thinking of you in this hard time. Your mother is so brave. Family comes first, sweetheart. I didn't respond to any of them. The next morning, I called my mother. She answered on the second ring. Her voice was weak, fragile, barely above a whisper. Sophia, is everything okay? I need to see you, alone. A pause, then softer still. Of course, sweetheart. Come over whenever you want. I'm not going anywhere. The irony almost made me laugh out loud. I drove to their house at noon. My father was at work, conveniently. My brother was God knows where. Just her waiting in the kitchen with tea and cookies like a normal mother. She stood when I walked in, held out her arms for a hug. I didn't move. Mom, we need to talk. Her arms dropped. A flicker of something crossed her face. Annoyance? Fear? Gone before I could name it. Of course, sweetheart. Sit down. Talk to me. I sat across from her at the kitchen table, the same table where I'd done homework as a child, the same table where she'd told me I was selfish for wanting to study abroad, the same table where she probably rehearsed her lines for the performance. I found the makeup kit. She froze. The one in the guest bathroom, under the sink, behind the toilet paper. She didn't speak, didn't move, didn't blink. The theater makeup, the liquid latex, the wound wax, the bruise colors, the stage blood. I pulled out my phone. The list, your handwriting, every single detail of your performance. Her hand reached for her tea, steady, controlled. I don't know what you're talking about. Mom, I have photos, dozens of them. I have proof. I know everything. The silence stretched between us like a living thing. The clock on the wall ticked. A car passed outside. A dog barked somewhere in the distance. Then slowly, her face changed. The weak, dying mother vanished like smoke. In its place was someone else, someone cold, calculated, angry. She set down her tea and looked at me with eyes I'd never seen before. You weren't supposed to find that. I stared at her, at the admission, so casual, so matter-of-fact, like she was discussing the weather. You faked a terminal illness? You spent weeks planning it. You rehearsed with Dad. You wrote down when to cry. You practiced your symptoms. You told 30 people you were dying. You made me the villain for wanting to leave, and all because I got a job in another country? She sighed, actually sighed, like I was being dramatic. You would have left. You would have gone to London and never come back. I know you. I know how you are. You would have built a life there, found someone, forgotten all about us. How I am? I'm your daughter. I was supposed to be starting my life, and you tried to destroy it because you didn't want me to go? I didn't try to destroy it. I tried to stop it. There's a difference. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. The woman sitting across from me was a stranger. Had she always been this person? Had I just never seen it? What about the relatives? Aunt Margaret, all the cousins? They think you're dying. They all think I'm the monster for leaving. She shrugged, completely casual. They'll get over it, or they won't. Either way, you'll still be here. No. I stood up. My chair scraped against the floor. No. I'm leaving. I'm going to London, and before I go, I'm telling everyone the truth. Her face hardened. The coldness in her eyes could have frozen the ocean. You do that, and I'll deny everything. I'll say you're lying to cover your guilt. I'll say you found some old Halloween makeup and made up a story to justify abandoning your dying mother. I'll cry, I'll shake, I'll look every single one of them in the eye and tell them my own daughter is trying to destroy me in my final months. I have proof, photos, the list in your handwriting. Fake, all of it.
You could have written that list yourself. You could have bought that makeup. You could have planted it in my bathroom and taken photos. It'll be your word against mine. And who do you think they'll believe? The dying mother or the daughter who can't wait to leave? I looked at this woman, this person who gave birth to me, raised me, fed me, clothed me, tucked me into bed at night, and now sat there calmly explaining how she would destroy my reputation, my relationships, my future to keep me trapped. "You're sick," I whispered, "not dying, sick." She smiled. It was the coldest thing I had ever seen. "Maybe, but I'm still your mother, and you're still my daughter, and you're not going anywhere." I walked out, didn't say another word, didn't look back. I drove to Chloe's apartment with shaking hands and tear-blurred vision. She opened the door, took one look at my face, and pulled me inside without a word. I sat on her floor in her tiny living room and told her everything. The makeup kit, the list, my mother's confession, her threat, every ugly detail. Chloe listened without interrupting. When I finally finished, she was quiet for a long moment, staring at the wall. "She's not going to stop," Chloe said. "If you go, she'll destroy you. If you stay, she wins. Either way, she gets what she wants. Your whole life held hostage by her lies." "Then what do I do? What can I possibly do?" Chloe looked at me. A slow smile spread across her face. "You play her game, but better." 3 days passed. I stayed at Chloe's apartment, avoiding my phone, avoiding the world. My mother called 17 times. My father left voicemails that shifted from concerned to demanding to vaguely threatening. Relatives texted constantly. "Your mother is asking for you. How can you ignore her at a time like this? You'll regret this when she's gone." I saved every single one. Chloe and I stayed up late those nights, planning. She was studying law, sharp as a blade, and she saw angles I never would have considered. "Here's the thing," she said on the third night, spreading papers across her coffee table. "Your mother's threat only works if she's the only one with proof. But if other people start seeing things, noticing things, questioning things, her story falls apart." "How do I do that without tipping her off?" She smiled. "You don't tip her off. You tip everyone else." She explained her plan. It was simple, elegant, cruel in the best way. I started with Aunt Margaret. I called her the next morning, crying before she even said hello. Not fake crying, real tears, real fear, real desperation. "Aunt Margaret, it's Sophia. I need to talk to someone. I don't know who else to call." Her voice softened immediately. "Sweetheart, what's wrong? Is it your mother?" "It's everything. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm making the right choice. I don't know if I'm a terrible person for still wanting to go." "Oh, honey," she sighed. "This is so hard. I can't imagine what you're going through. Something's been bothering me, and I feel horrible even saying it. But the way Mom told everyone at your birthday, it felt strange, like she'd planned it." A pause. "What do you mean?" I told her about the timing, the rehearsed tears, the way she looked at me last, the way she held my gaze for exactly 5 seconds. I didn't mention the makeup kit or the list, just the feeling, the strange, nagging feeling. Aunt Margaret was quiet for a long moment. "You know, I thought the same thing. I didn't want to say anything, but she seemed almost calm, like she'd been preparing for it." My heart raced. "Really? You felt it too?" "I did. And there's something else. Helen has never been organized about anything in her life, but suddenly she has doctor names, appointment dates, treatment plans. She told me about 3 different specialists, all at different hospitals. When I asked for their names so I could send flowers, she got weird, vague, changed the subject." I gripped the phone tighter. "Aunt Margaret, I need you to ask you something, and I need you to really think about it." "Go ahead." "Has she looked sick to you?" Actually sick, not just tired or stressed, but genuinely ill. Another long pause. No, now that you mention it, no. She's been thinner, but she's been dieting for months, and her color is fine. She's not pale or gray. She moves normally. Her energy is normal. I let that sink in. Let her think about it herself. I don't know what's going on, I said quietly, but something doesn't feel right, and I'm terrified that if I give up everything and stay, and then find out, I let the sentence hang. Let her fill in the blanks. Aunt Margaret's voice was different when she spoke again. Harder, more certain. You don't give up anything yet. You hear me? You wait. You watch. And if something is wrong, we'll figure it out together. I thanked her, hung up, and looked at Chloe. 1 down, 7 to go. Over the next week, I called every relative who had been at that dinner. Not accusing, not confronting, just questioning, sharing my confusion, my fear, my strange, nagging feelings. I told my cousin Sarah about the rehearsed tears. She remembered that my mother had gone to the bathroom 3 times during dinner. I thought it was nerves, she said, but now that you mention it,
I told my Uncle Mark about the doctor situation. He knew someone at Memorial Hospital. He offered to check if Dr. Harris actually existed. I told my grandmother, my mother's own mother, the one person my mother could never manipulate. Grandma listened in silence, then said 4 words that chilled me. I've been waiting for this. What do you mean? I mean, I've known my daughter for 60 years, and I've never seen her look sick. I've seen her look angry. I've seen her look calculated. I've seen her look like she's planning something. But sick? No. She paused. Check her medicine cabinet, not the guest bathroom, her actual bathroom, the one she uses every day. I drove to my parents' house that afternoon. They weren't home. I let myself in with my key and went straight to the master bathroom. The medicine cabinet was full of the usual things: vitamins, painkillers, beauty products. But tucked behind a bottle of ibuprofen, I found a prescription bottle with no label. I opened it. Inside were pills, small, white, unmarked. I took one, put it in my pocket. Chloe's friend was a pharmacy student. She identified it within hours. Blood pressure medication, she said. Standard stuff. Nothing for cancer, nothing for terminal illness, nothing for any of the symptoms she's claiming. I sat back, heart pounding. The next day, Uncle Mark called. Dr. Harris didn't exist. Dr. Patel was a dermatologist. Dr. Wong had never heard of my mother. Piece by piece, the evidence mounted. My mother had built her lie on a foundation of smoke and mirrors, and now, without even realizing it, the family was starting to see through it. Then came Sunday. My mother called. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Sophia. Her voice was weak, fragile. I need to see you. Please, I don't have much time. I almost laughed. Almost. Where are you? At home. My father's with me. Please come. I drove to their house. Chloe followed in her car, parked down the street, ready to call the police if things went wrong. My mother was on the couch when I walked in, wrapped in a blanket, looking pale and drawn. My father sat beside her, holding her hand. For a moment, I almost believed it. The performance was that good. But I'd seen the makeup kit. I'd read the list. I'd talked to the relatives. I knew. I sat across from them, waited. Sophia, my mother began, tears already forming. I know we've had our differences. I know I haven't always been the mother you needed, but I'm asking you now, from my heart, to please stay. I don't want to spend my last months without you. My father nodded, his face somber. We're family. We need to be together. I looked at them, these 2 people who had spent weeks planning to destroy my future, who used their own health as a weapon, who manipulated everyone they loved, and who were still performing even now. I reached into my bag and pulled out my phone. I have something to show you, I said. I opened my photos and handed it to her. The first photo was the makeup kit, the second was the list, the third was the hidden cabinet, the fourth was the prescription bottle with no label. I watched her face change. The color drained, the tears stopped, the performance crumbled. "What is this?" she whispered. Proof of everything. The makeup kit, the list, the rehearsed symptoms, the fake doctors, the pills that aren't for cancer. I have it all. My father's mouth opened and closed like a fish. No sound came out. "I also have recordings," I continued, "of every conversation I've had with relatives this week. Aunt Margaret, Uncle Mark, Grandma, they all have questions now. They're all starting to wonder why a dying woman isn't actually sick." My mother's face hardened. That cold, calculated look returned. "You wouldn't." "I already have. The family knows. Not everything, not yet, but enough. Enough to start asking questions. Enough to notice that you never look sick. Enough to wonder why you have 3 different doctors that don't exist." She stood up, the blanket falling away. "You ruined everything." "No, Mom, you did. You spent weeks planning to destroy my future. You used your own health as a weapon. You manipulated everyone you loved, and you forgot that I'm your daughter. I learned from the best." I stood up, walked to the door. "I'm leaving for London next week. My visa is still valid. My job is still waiting. And when I go, I'm taking copies of everything with me. Every photo, every recording, every piece of proof. If you ever try to contact me again, if you ever try to guilt me into coming back, if you ever spread another lie about me, I'll release it all, publicly, to the family, to your friends, to everyone." My mother's face was white. My father sat frozen. "Goodbye, Mom. Goodbye, Dad. I hope the life you have left is worth the one you tried to steal from me." I walked out. Chloe was waiting in her car. She hugged me when I got in. "Did you do it?" I nodded, tears streaming down my face. "How do you feel?" I thought about it, thought about the years of manipulation, the weeks of terror, the moment I finally stood up. "Free," I whispered. "I feel free." London was everything I hoped it would be. Rainy and gray and beautiful. The kind of city where you could disappear into the crowd and nobody knew your name or your story or your pain. My first month was a blur. New job, new apartment, new life. I woke up every morning in a tiny flat in North London, listening to the sounds of a city waking up, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid. My phone stayed quiet. I'd blocked my parents' numbers before I left. The only family I still talked to was Chloe and my grandmother. They sent updates occasionally. "Your mother is telling everyone you abandoned her. Some people believe her. Most are starting to ask questions. Aunt Margaret found out about the fake doctors. She's furious. Grandma told the whole family about the makeup kit. Things are getting interesting." I read the messages, smiled, and went on with my life. It wasn't my circus anymore, not my monkeys. 3 months passed. I got promoted, made friends, started dating a British guy named Tom who made me laugh and didn't ask too many questions about my family. Life was good, really good. Then Chloe called. "Soph, something happened." My heart stopped. "What?" "She's in the hospital, for real this time. It's not cancer, but it's serious. Her heart. Years of stress and manipulation finally caught up with her, I guess." I didn't know what to feel, didn't know what to say. "She's asking for you. Your father called Grandma, begging her to get you to come back. He said she won't stop talking to you, said she cries all the time, said she keeps saying she's sorry." I stared at the wall. Is it real or is it another performance? Chloe was quiet for a moment. "I don't know. That's the thing. After everything she did, I don't think any of us will ever know when she's being real." I thanked her, hung up, sat in my tiny London flat and stared at the ceiling for hours. Tom came home and found me there. He sat beside me, didn't ask questions, just held my hand. That night, I called my grandmother. "Grandma? Grandma?" "Sophia." Her voice was old and tired. I've been waiting for you to call. Is it real? Is she actually sick? A long pause. Yes, it's real. Her heart is failing. The doctors say she has maybe 6 months, a year if she's lucky. I closed my eyes. Does she know? About what I found? About the family knowing? She knows. Everyone knows. Your father is a wreck. Your brother won't talk to either of them. The family is divided. Half of them think she got what she deserved. The other half think you should have just stayed and avoided all of this. Typical. Always my fault. Always my responsibility. She's asking for you, Sophia. Not performing, not manipulating, just asking. She looks small, honey. Smaller than I've ever seen her. I didn't respond. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you the truth. She's dying, for real this time, and she's scared. I thought about it for 3 weeks. I talked to Chloe, talked to Tom, talked to a therapist who specialized in toxic family dynamics. I journaled, I cried, I yelled at the wall. In the end, I made a decision. I flew back, just for a weekend, just to see. The hospital was the same one I'd driven past 100 times growing up. I walked through the automatic doors, past the gift shop, past the cafeteria, to the cardiac unit. My father was in the hallway. He looked old, broken. The confident man who had helped my mother rehearse her lies was gone, replaced by someone small and scared. Sophia, his voice cracked. Thank you for coming. Is she awake? He nodded. She's been asking for you every day. She doesn't have much energy. The doctors say... He couldn't finish. I didn't need him to. I walked into the room. My mother lay in a hospital bed surrounded by machines. She was thin, pale, frail in a way that no amount of makeup could fake. Her eyes were closed, but they opened when I sat down. Sophia. Her voice was barely a whisper. You came. I didn't say anything, just looked at her. I know I don't deserve this. I know I don't deserve you. I spent my whole life manipulating everyone I loved, and I lost all of them. Your father barely speaks to me. Your brother won't come. The family thinks I'm a monster. She reached for my hand. I let her take it. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not asking you to stay. I needed you to know that I see it now. What I did, who I was. I see it. Tears ran down her cheeks. Real ones. No performance this time. I was so scared of losing you that I destroyed everything. I became the thing I was afraid of. And now I'm here, alone, dying. And the only person I want is the one I hurt most. I didn't speak for a long time. Just sat there, holding her hand, watching her cry. I forgave you a long time ago, I said. Not for you, for me, so I could move on, so I could build a life without carrying your weight. She nodded, cried harder. But that doesn't mean I trust you. That doesn't mean I'm back. I have a life in London, a job, a man who loves me, friends who actually see me. I'm not giving that up. I know. I don't expect you to. I came because you're my mother, because you're dying, because I didn't want to live with the regret of not saying goodbye. But this is goodbye. Not forever, but for now. She squeezed my hand. That's more than I deserve. We sat together for an hour, talking about small things. My job, London, the weather, not the past, not the lies, not the pain, just being together. When I stood to leave, she held my hand tighter. I'm proud of you, she whispered. I never said it. I never showed it. But I am. So proud. I leaned down and kissed her forehead. Goodbye, Mom. I flew back to London the next day. Tom picked me up at the airport, held me while I cried. My mother died 6 weeks later. I didn't go to the funeral. Chloe went. She said it was small and sad and exactly what my mother deserved. I grieved in my own way, not for the mother she was, but for the mother she could have been, the mother I needed, the mother who never really existed. Life went on. London kept raining, my job kept thriving, Tom kept making me laugh, Chloe visited twice a year, Grandma called every Sunday. 1 year later, I stood on my balcony overlooking the city. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. My phone buzzed, a text from Chloe. "Thinking of you. How are you doing?" I typed back, "Free. Finally free." I meant it. Would you have gone back to see her? Comment below. Can you forgive someone without letting them back into your life? Subscribe for more stories about toxic family, hard choices, and finding freedom.